This program was first broadcast on Canterbury's community access radio station Plains FM 96.9 and was made with the assistance of New Zealand On Air.
It's all about disability rights and support on Listen, Our Voices Count, with host Roger Marsden, next on Community Access Radio, Plains FM.
Hello, this is Listen Our Voices Count with your host Roger Marsden on Christchurch Community Radio Plains FM 96.9. With me in the studio is Tim and Loudon. Were you both born in Christchurch?
Loudon first.
No, I wasn't born in Christchurch. I was born in a place called Port Glasgow in Scotland.
And I was born in Oxford in the UK, not Oxford, North Christchurch.
Both of you, how long have you lived in Christchurch?
I came across here in 2003.
And I came to Christchurch in 2007.
What is both your jobs?
Well, I've been asked that question quite often, and I've come up with the answer from a friend of mine. I'm a maven, which is a networker.
So, kind of a bit the same as Loudon, really. So we both have our own companies, but we're currently working for this organisation called the Hāpai Foundation. So we're getting this amazing organisation. We've got it off the ground. Now we're trying to get it into the air.
Or stay in the air.
Or stay in the air. Yeah.
Who do you work for? Oh, Hāpai Foundation is one.
Well, we'll work for anybody who pays us.
Yeah.
Basically.
Sometimes you guys don't pay us.
Yeah. And I do some work for Christchurch. Cultivate Christchurch. But I'm paid in vegetables, so I reckon I'm on about half a carrot an hour at the moment. So you can only eat so many vegetables a year.
You're a reindeer.
Yes.
And you, Tim.
So I'm doing some work for the Hāpai Foundation. Yeah, at the minute I've also got my own business where I do some coaching and training and bits and bobs for people.
Who found the Hāpai Foundation?
Well, you can go with that.
That's a great question. So the Hāpai Foundation is relatively new, so it's been going since we sort of initially launched June-ish this year, but it's the coming together of some other entities. So we have the Templeton Welfare Council, we have the Chapel of the Holy Family Trust. So these are two organisations that have supported people with intellectual disabilities who were initially living out at the Templeton Hospital site, just north of or southwest of the city. And when that was, deinstitutionalised in the 1990s, these two entities were created to support people who were going, back into their communities. And so, I think more and more charities are realising that to do more good work, we need sort of people to come together and collaborate. So the Hāpai Foundation's the coming together of those two main organisations and some other smaller organisations.
Our music break for today is Snoopy's Christmas by Royal Gartman. You are listening to Listen Our Voices Count on Christchurch radio station Plains FM 96.9. Your host Roger Marsden. Welcome back, Tim and Loudon. What happened International Day of Disabilities December 3rd that is relevant to the Hāpai Foundation?
Well, we actually officially launched the Hāpai Foundation. We had two events, one in the morning for the sort of more community, the service community, and then we had a big bash in the evening hosted by Vodafone, where we had about 85 plus people who came along. Great mix from those who in the corporate world through to the Jam Smart. Wrong way around. What's the name of the dance organisation?
Star Jam.
Star Jam.
So we had two amazing MCs from Star Jam, and we had two other kids sing 3 songs for us, which is great.
Is there anyone you want to thank for December the 3rd?
Well, we better thank Vodafone, even though I'm a Spark customer. But they haven't converted me yet. So
we have to Chris at Vodafone.
Chris Garmandel.
Yeah, he's been amazing. And Michelle Sharp, who's their new South Island boss, who's also patron of Hāpai Foundation. between those two, they graciously donated the venue and some significant time on Chris's behalf to make sure that we could get everything in the room and what have you. We also need to thank Can Do Catering
great
for
guys.
providing amazing food, and they also provided the wait staff for us at no charge.
So if you want some excellent Kai from an organisation that uses disabled people, you couldn't do better than Can Do Catering.
And we also need to thank New World Fendleton for some scones for our morning launch.
Which Vodafone staff were very thankful.
yeah, we overcated.
We got a lot of kudos from them now. We could do no wrong.
Both of you, tell me about the Hāpai Foundation and the people that use it and who it is for. What is it for?
Well, the Hāpai Foundation is focused primarily on the intellectually disabled, but within that community we are focused on those who aren't the more able end, who can get work at Kilmarnock or Trees for Canterbury, and they're not at the other end where they are in need of hospital care. So there's a bit in the middle who at the moment can be overlooked, and so we are focused on trying to help them get to have a more meaningful life, whatever that means to them, and part of that is checking in with them what they want to see done. And we've got various projects that we're putting in place that we believe will significantly improve that particular group of people's lives.
So yes, we've got the Jam card, which we're hopefully going to be launching early next year, which is it stands for Just a Minute. It's been hugely successful in Northern Ireland, where it's from, and that was rolled out by the Now Group, who support the intellectually disabled community, and that's really just a way for people who have a communication difficulty to signal to
Or a physical
disability, any disability, to signal to retail staff that, look, I just need a bit more time to be able to maybe get my money out or to place my order. So helping trying to break down that barrier to people just enjoying going for a cup of coffee, which so many people take for granted. And we're also we've got a chapel that we own out at Templeton. And it's used for about 90 minutes once a week on a Sunday at the minute. And so we're looking at how can we maybe make better use of that facility, so for training workshops, events, and what have you. But also we're exploring opportunities for a big piece of land that we might have an option on out there. And one thing we're looking at is working with Cultivate Christchurch and to put a farm out on the old Templeton site and use that as a way of earning money to then go and do the work that we know that we need to do.
So a shout out to the Majors group, because they are leasing us at very low cost, about 15 hectares or 15,000 square metres if you want to work in square metres, which is fantastic, and it means that we have a real possibility of having a commercial operation out there that will provide funding to support the organisation.
I think you explained, but tell me more. What's different about the Hāpai Foundation?
Well, Tim and I are different about Hāpai Foundation. That's what we start off with. We always classify ourselves as the two idiots, and that's partly we are idiots in terms of intellectual disability, because we know next to nothing until we got involved with this particular foundation. But what we bring is a experience of the commercial world, and we played around with social enterprise and the like. And so I think whether it's not unique, but we want to be sustainable through our operations. Hence the Jam card, in maybe 3 years' time, being a discount card, and then we can charge for that. So if we get 30 or 40,000 people having that card, that will be a 400,000 income. And the farm will also contribute maybe 100, 150,000 a year. So we don't, there's so many people needing grants to do good work, we don't want to add to that. So part of our differentiation is that's part of who we want to be. We want to be commercially based to generate the money to do the good. But also we both speak commercial language, so we are able to engage with people like Vodafone, Countdown,
Coffee
Cartel. So and that is a gap in, I think, in the market or in the sector, is the ability to have commercial conversations with a commercial organisation. So our conversations with commercial organisations are where we're putting a business proposal to them, if they do what we suggest, they will generate more revenue and more profit, and that tends to attract their interest. So that's maybe one area at least of difference.
I think that's the main area. I think we're this interesting entity in that we have this long history of success. Like, the Templeton Welfare Council goes back to the 1960s, so we have a deep connection to the community, the intellectually disabled community in Canterbury. But we've got this really clean slate looking forward, where we want to build on the positives and the good from the past, but really look to the future and go, what could be the best that we could do. And I think that's quite an interesting. We've got a really good bunch of trustees who, just want to do the best, to get the best impact for the community. And I think that, I'm not saying that other charities aren't thinking that way, but I feel that there is something like at the launch event, we've had in the last week maybe 5 people say we want to come and work for you. It's like we've never come across that in any. It's rare in a commercial world to get people literally knocking on your door. I've seen what you're doing. It just feels like there's something special about what we're trying to achieve here, and it seems to be attracting the right people when we need them.
And you can maybe, I don't know if it's definitely not unique, but it might be a bit different for some people. It's a fairly serious area working, to help intellectually disabled people. But we believe if you're going to work, you might as well have fun. So we laugh a lot. We don't take each other seriously. Yeah. It's a serious piece of work, but we don't take ourselves seriously. That makes it fun to work in.
How can people get in touch with the foundation?
That's a great question. So the two main ways. So we've got our website, which is hapaifoundation.org.nz, and we have a Facebook page. So those are our two. So if you look for Hāpai Foundation on Facebook, you should be able to find us there. Yeah, and please go and like us and support us and all that. Because we've been mainly focused on some information gathering and working out what we could do, what we should do, what we can do, what have you. But the next phase, we really want to start connecting to the wider intellectual disabled community and understanding how how can we be more specific in where we work with them and help them. So come and like us and follow us and comment on us and tell us what we're doing right, tell us what we're doing wrong, so that we can be better.
Do you mind having 6 people asking for a job after this?
Not at all.
You will.
Only if they expect to be paid, of course.
Right. Thank you, Tim and Loudon, for joining me and telling myself about the Hāpai Foundation. Thank you to my sponsors, Intention Tours, and Merry Christmas to them. Also the staff at Plains FM 96.9 and Wellington Access Radio and the FM Merry Christmas. Listen to Our Voices Count can be found on Facebook and plainsfm.org.nz and Wellington Access Radio.
It's a wrap.
Yeah, we're done.
It's in the can.
You need to do that.
Yeah. Woo!